Good morning, dear students. This is Dr. Priyanka, and today we'll be having a discussion on theory building, how it builds. Let me share this PPT with you. Theory building. Theories basically are nets cast to catch what we call the world, to rationalize, to explain, and to master it. We endeavor to make the mesh even finer and finer. For example, scientist investigating business phenomena wants to know what produces inflation. Or there might be a person who wants to know how leadership affects organizations, right? Everything is there. Like both want to be able to predict behavior. So to be able to say that if we do such and such, then so and so will happen. We do such things in our normal daily life as well, but when it comes to such, there's a difference how to build a theory. So let us start with theories. What exactly theory is and what are the purposes of theories? There are two purposes of theory. One is prediction and another one is understanding. Prediction is just predicting a few things, and finally, understanding makes another difference. In most of the situations, prediction and understanding go hand in hand. To predict the phenomena, we must have an explanation of why variables behave as they do so, and theories provide these explanation, and that leads to understanding of the phenomena completely, almost completely at least. Theory development is essentially a process of describing phenomena at increasingly higher level of abstraction. Let us understand it with another definition. Theory is a coherent set of general propositions used to explain principles of explanation of the apparent relationships of certain observed phenomena. Let us try to understand theories with the help of concept. Concept basically is a generalized idea about a class of objects, attributes, occurrences, or processes that has been given a name. There are so many things we call them just a term, or some things are called concepts. Why? Because they're actually explaining a lot of things within that word. So, concept is basically a building block. We can always say that it is even, it is a definition in itself. Building blocks that abstract reality, leadership, productivity, and morale, gross national product, asset, inflation. These all are concepts. We know when we talk about inflation, we are talking about something like increasing prices of products and so many other things related to it. When we talk about asset, we know that we are talking about one, but some tool which company has owned, for example a machinery for a manufacturing company, or maybe a computer system for a service company or for a bank, right? So these are basically the concepts. Then ladder of abstraction for concepts. When we talk about a fruit, that is banana, we can see it in the picture. When we call it banana, we are generally talking about just one thing. When we call it fruit, we are going towards more abstract term. And when we call it vegetation in whole, whether it's a fruit or a vegetable, when we talk about vegetation, we are going towards abstraction. This is actually called a ladder of abstraction, which starts from reality, then a thing comes, then the term comes with, we call it, and then vegetation as the whole abstract thing. So this is how we go through the ladder of abstraction for concepts. Moving up the ladder of abstraction, the basic concept becomes more abstract, right? And it would be wider in scope, and it would be less amenable to measurement. We cannot measure things actually over here. The basic or scientific business researchers operate at two levels. One is abstract level and another one is empirical level. When we talk about abstract level, we are talking about basic theories. Like when I'm saying I'm talking about abstract level about this particular fruit, I will be calling this as vegetation, right? So this is how it happens. Like at abstract level, we talk about concepts and propositions. We'll be talking about certain conceptions, and then we'll be making some statements which are called propositions. Like if we run daily, we'll be able to run more faster. This is called proposition, and running is the concept. Or we can even call them as this concept is basically reinforcement. When we reinforce on something, that becomes a habit one day. This is also called a proposition. Then empirical level. When we talk about empirical level, two things comes in the picture. One is variable and another one is hypothesis. And second thing is, whenever we are talking about abstract level, we just talk about theories, not exactly the numbers, but and exactly we talk about realities. But when we talk about empirical level, we talk about variables, we talk about numbers, we talk about hypothesis, whether this is wrong or right, and so many things related to numbers. Theories translate their conceptualization of reality into abstract ideas. Thus, theory deals with abstraction. But when we explain the concepts relating to the other concepts, then only we can start constructing the theories. And how do we generate these theories? Through empirical level testing. So abstract level is also important as well as empirical level is important. Both have their importance in developing theories. I already told you abstract level is in theory development, the level of knowledge, expressing a concept that exists only as an idea or a quality apart from an object. For example, leadership, it's concept. Then empirical level of knowledge reflecting that which is verifiable by experience or observation. We'll be talking about both the things throughout the PPT. And theory building is a process of increasing abstract. How? First, we talk about concepts. When we talk about two or three concepts together, then we'll be relating them. Then we call them as propositions. In general, we talk about the connection of two concepts and try to relate them. We call them propositions in theory. And if we talk about those particular concepts in numerical terms, then it would be hypothesis, and we'll be talking in the terms of empirical testability. But now when we just talk about concepts, when we relate them, that is called proposition. And when we explain how these concepts are related, then we begin to construct theories. Concepts are abstractions of reality. Concepts are basically developed when we reach the higher level of abstraction, and when we test them empirically, then again we just add some value to it, and we'll see to it that how we develop theories. First we go to abstract level, then come back to empirical level, then come back to abstract level, and this is how we generate concepts. For example, there's a theory in song: a fact without a theory is like a ship without a sail, is like a boat without a rudder, is like a kite without a tail. A fact without a figure is a tragic final act. But one thing worse in this universe is a theory without a fact. There cannot be a theory without a fact. You have to have some facts while developing a theory. You cannot just say anything just like that. You should be having some facts in hands. For example, you cannot just say that this fan will be revolving opposite to it or something like that. You must be having some fact, some proof about something, then only you can generalize the theories. So facts are very important to generate theories. Yes, we'll be talking about two kind of reasoning while developing theories. One is deductive reasoning, another one is inductive reasoning. How deductive and inductive reasoning helps while developing theories. Deductive reasoning basically is the logical process of deriving a conclusion from from a known premise or something known to be true. Let us see it with the help of an example. We know that all managers are human beings. Yeah? If we also know that John Smith is a manager, then we can call John Smith as a human being, because we already said that all managers are human beings, right? So this is how it is. That one is, we know that all managers are human beings, then we also know that John Smith is a manager, then we can deduce that John Smith is a human being. This is how deductive reasoning works. I hope this is clear. Now let us talk about inductive reasoning. The logical process of establishing a general proposition on the basis of observation of particular facts. Let us see the same thing with the help of an example. All managers that have ever been seen are human beings. Therefore, all managers are human beings. Right? In deductive, what we did is we knew a general fact, right? And from there, we knew about some person, so we related that person to that general fact. We deduced the information by reasoning, right? And when in inductive reasoning, what we do is the logical process of establishing a general proposition on the basis of observation of particular facts. We have some facts, and on that basis, we go for some general propositions. Before going ahead for self-assessment questions, let us understand theory with the help of one more example. For example, we want to explain theory related to voluntary job turnover. That is the movement of employees to another organization. Two concepts are there. Number one, perceived ease of movement. You think that you can easily move out of the organization, right? And another one is perceived desirability of movement, that yes, you really want to move to another organization. There are two concepts which are to be understood over here. So what are the possible reasons you want to move out of the organization? In general, you might be expecting better job, better pay over in another organization, or maybe you are not happy in this particular organization. You might be facing some problems, you might be getting harassed about something, right? There are so many things about this. Basically, you are not satisfied with your job, that is why you are leaving your current job and trying to move to another organization, right? So this shows your intention to quit. If you want to move out of the organization, that means you know that you will be able to find another job. You know that you actually want to move from this organization to another organization. You know that even if you get little less pay than this, you will be happy there, right? That depends on your reasons. If you are moving out of the organization due to less pay, then of course you will be looking for better pay in another organization. Or if you are just not happy in the organization due to some another reason, then you will be looking for those reasons in the organizations, basically showing intention to quit. That means you will be quitting your job only when you will be finding those reasons you were looking for, right? So job performance basically explain two things here, that whenever you are trying to move out of the organizations, there might be some reasons, like might be some different labor market conditions, or maybe number of organizations hiring are more right now, maybe some personal characteristics which might not be suiting you in this organization, right? And some other reasons can also be there when you want to move from this organization. When you really want to move, like due to just some other reason, like you are happy in this organization as well, but you just want to move due to some reasons like paycheck and all that, then there might be reasons like equity of pay, right? Then participation in decision making, you might be feeling like that uh, you're you are not a part of decision making, and you might be willing to perform at the level of decision making team. Then these might be the reasons you feel like that you are not being recognized in this organization. You want so there are so many reasons, right? So the theories are developed not only on the basis of one concept. There would be so many concepts involved, they'll be related, and then only we'll be able to reach a conclusion, then and then we'll be developing a theory. Basically, whenever we are talking about one thing, exactly complete explanation of that particular theory is not possible in any way, because there are so many theories attached with that, so many concepts are there. For example, when I talk about leaving the job, when I talk about job turnover, when I talk about job performance, there are so many things related to it. So this is how theories are developed. Complete explanation of theory is not possible. However, there might be some things we might be able to explain about this particular criteria. So let us go with self-assessment questions now. What is a theory? What are its goals? And why is it useful to business researchers? Theory basically is a formal logical explanation of some events that includes predictions of how things relate to one another. The two purposes of theory are basically understanding and predicting. Accomplishing the first goal allows the theorist to gain an understanding of the relationship among various phenomena. Thus, a theory enables us to predict the behavior or characteristics of one phenomena from knowledge of another phenomena. And why is it useful to business researchers? Before starting anything, you should read all the theories so very carefully, so that you can relate two concepts, two variables together. That is how it is. Next question is, compare and contrast the terms, concepts, and variables and give an example of each. Though I have mentioned these in the PPTs, but let's explain them again. A concept, or this is even called as construct, is generalized idea about a class of objects, attributes, occurrences, or processes that has been given a name. Supervisory behavior or risk aversion are examples of concepts. Like we even discussed more examples, like leadership is an example of concept. Inflation is an example of concept. Variable is anything that may assume different numerical values and is the empirical assessment of a concept. We are talking about concepts only here, but we will be giving them numerical value and we'll be empirically assessing them. For example, supervisory behavior may be assessed through variables such as amount of time spent training employees, number of employees supervised, and degree to which employees are involved in decision making. These are all supervisory behaviors. But these would be, for example, I say my supervisor is very good. How he would be good? He might be helping the team, or he might be involving employees in good decision making, and so many things are attached, right? This is how this example explaining it. Supervisory behavior may be assessed through variables such as amount of time spent on training employees, or maybe number of employees supervised, or maybe degree to which employees are involved in decision making, and so many other reasons you can attach. Then discuss how theories are developed. Yes, at the abstract conceptual level, a theory may be developed with deductive reasoning by going from a general statement to a special assertion. Deductive reasoning is the logical process of deriving a conclusion about a specific instance based on a known general premise or something known to be true. And at the empirical level, a theory may be developed with the inductive reasoning, which is the logical process of establishing a general proposition on the basic observation of particular facts. We discussed the example of managers manager and John Smith for deductive reasoning, right? If all managers are human beings and John Smith is a manager, then he might be a human being. This is how deductive reasoning is. And for inductive reasoning, we'll be empirically testing something and we'll generalize the results. That is inductive reasoning. We generally use first deductive reasoning, and then after applying the empirical test, we'll be using inductive reasoning. We use both the reasoning while doing any kind of research. First deductive and then inductive reasoning. True and false. Understanding and predicting are the two purposes of theory. Is it true? Yes, these are actually the two purposes of theory. Second, a theory is an abstract, untestable explanation of some events. Is it true or not? It says that a theory is an abstract, untestable explanation of some events. But we have just talked about that theory is testable. So this is false. Third, theories are derived from deductive reasoning and selective reasoning. How theories are developed? We just discussed it in the last self-assessment questions. Theories are generally derived from deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. First, we'll be applying deductive reasoning and then inductive. So there is no selective reasoning in that. So again, it's a false. Deductive reasoning derives a conclusion about a specific instance based on general knowledge. Is it true? Deductive reasoning derives a conclusion about a specific instance based on general knowledge. Yes, it is. Then, a concept is a formal statement explaining some outcome. Is it? We have talked about concept. Concept is a formal statement explaining some outcome. Is it, or it is something else? In fact, hypothesis is a formal statement explaining some outcome. So that means this is false. Concept is not a formal statement explaining some outcome. Multiple choice questions. Number 1, what are the two goals of theory? Speculation and confirmation. Or number B, understanding and predicting. C, deductive and inducting. D, abstraction and concentration. What is it? What are the two goals of theory? When we develop theories, we develop them through deducting and inducting reasoning. So we might get confused over here. So don't be confused over here with deducting and inducting. Actual two goals of theories are understanding and predicting, right? And when we develop theories, we develop them through inductive and deductive reasoning. So the answer is B. What are the two goals of theory? This is understanding and predicting. Second question, employees dressed professionally will generate greater sales than those dressed casually is an example of theory or proposition or hypothesis or variation. Let me repeat this. Employees dressed professionally will generate greater sales than those dressed casually is an example of. Is it a theory? It seems like something like a comparison or some statement. This is not even proposition. Variation is not there. So this is actually called hypothesis. We actually state hypothesis like this. Employees dressed professionally will generate less or greater sales than those dressed casually. So the answer is C, hypothesis. Thank you.